there's a great amount of individual talent in Shore Conference. I'll say that first. And especially this year, on the offensive side of the ball, some of the numbers have been ridiculous. And the defensive side of the ball, those guys are tasked with stopping a lot of those guys. And as you said, we have some really good ones, but when we went down and we looked who was the best defensive player this year, I think we all came to a pretty quick conclusion. It was this guy sitting to the left of me, St. John Vianney senior linebacker, Johnny Buchanan, and really a tremendous season. 121 tackles, 3 sacks, an interception, which was a huge one, and just a lot of clutch plays. He played big in big games. I know every time, we watched you play, we came across impressed as a team, you individually, and then what you did on the other side of the ball, rushing for almost 1,400 yards. So in your senior season, to play that well and mean that much to your team, John, I'm sure that meant a lot to you.
Yes, sir, and I want to thank you all for the honor, and it was just great being able to contribute to that team, and it was really it was a great team to play for, so a lot of my teammates and coaches put me in the position to be able to make those big plays and be a big part of the team.
There was no doubt you were the leader, though, or one of the leaders. I remember when we did our photos shoot segment back in August, and you showed up with all the offensive linemen, and you were kind of like the leader of the pack, but you had a great group, a great nucleus, and I guess people who really don't realize that from the linebacker position, if the guys in front of you are not doing their job, you don't get to clean up like you do, and you had some real good guys right in front of you on the defensive side, didn't you?
Oh, yes, sir. I was, those guys made my job a lot easier, on both sides of the ball, the same guys playing offense and defensive. So, it's always great to have a huge offensive line like I did, and defensive line, those guys would, take up double, triple teams for me and just allow me to be able to make plays.
Want to throw out some of their names just so we give them a little props here?
Absolutely. Alec Larson at center, Paul Luceno at right guard, Big CJ Hansen at right tackle. Left guard, we had Dominic Spano, and left tackle, Big Donovan Reiser. And, I can't thank those guys enough. And, they just...
We would have invited all of them, but there wasn't enough food here for that.
Definitely not.
I was just going to say, Johnny, I know you like to play defense, right?
Yes, sir.
If you had your choice?
My choice is definitely defense.
That side of the ball, every kid says that, guys, they don't like to play defense.
Says the defensive coordinator.
No rules on defense, right? You're just reckless to the football,
Yes, sir.
You're making all the calls in the huddle from the coach on the sideline?
Yes, well, luckily Coach Siniski this year had a lot of trust in me, being that, last year we kind of just went where we left off. So we were on the same page all year long on defense.
Okay, who's the guy that gives you the most trouble in the huddle?
No one, really.
Nobody.
Johnny, I know you got on the field a little bit as a sophomore, which at a program like SJV, it's hard to do because you're starting a lot of juniors and seniors. Those guys have waited their time, but I just remember that year talking to a lot of your coaches. They said, hey, look out for this Buchanan kid. He's going to be a good one. And, you got the starting job at linebacker as a junior and had an all-shore year. You played running back, but I know Chris Chukwinecki was your starter. This year, you knew coming in, you still had that starting job at middle linebacker. Now you're going to be the bell cow on offense. I mean, what were your expectations for yourself coming into this year?
My expectations were to be the best player around in any game I played in, anytime I stepped on the field on both sides of the ball. I played both running back and linebacker since I've been 6 years old. So I always set high expectations for myself and just wanted to be able to perform.
Well, the success you've had has earned you a college scholarship to the University of Delaware. You're proudly wearing your Blue Hen warm-up tonight. Tell us about that recruitment. Why Delaware? What else were you thinking about? And what was the that final decision that you said, I want to be a Blue Hen?
Well, a lot of great schools offered me a scholarship to be able to go and play for their team, so I'm very thankful for them. But something about Delaware just really stuck out to me. I love their coaching staff. They have they're all focused in on being able to go and win that national championship, which I loved. And it's close to home, so my family gets to come and see me play. And I can't even name all the, off the top of my head. So it was just, I'm blessed to be able to be a part of that team.
Can you earn playing time as a true freshman there? What do you think?
As of right now, we haven't really discussed as far as playing time, but anytime I'm on the football field, I'm going to go in and compete for a job.
Is that something where you'll just try to say, maybe not say that to the coaches directly, but just try to make an impact, even if it's special teams, just try to get out there as quickly as you can. I mean, obviously that's the goal for everyone moving on into college.
Absolutely. I'm definitely a team player first before a me guy. So any way I can contribute to help the team win, I'll be more than happy to do so.
Johnny, what do you think your legacy has been at St. John Vianney? What will you leave them with?
Well, hopefully I just set an example for the younger guys to be able to continue the tradition and just play hard and be team players and great teammates.
I know every player wants to play their best in their team's biggest games. It goes without saying. Two of the games that I saw you play in, the wins over Rumson, and the following week, the win against Red Bank Catholic. I mean, you played tremendous on both sides of the ball. I remember in the Rumson game, you had a long touchdown run. You had that big sack near the end of the game in overtime. And the same thing, the Red Bank Catholic game. I mean, you ran for over 200 yards. You had that big interception in the end zone. Just how about that? Gearing up to play those games. They're going to be big. You want to win it for your team. But as one of the leaders on the team, hey, I got to come out and have a big game to help my team win. So how about that? After games like that, when you know that you've done your job and you've kind of given everything that you can and your team has won a big game.
Well, that's just a great feeling. Anytime you're out playing against a great team like Red Bank Catholic or Rumson, you have to go in and have a great game to get your teammates rallied around you. So it was a great feeling to be able to go in and make an impact on both sides of the ball. And
I got to ask one more. That Rumson game, we didn't get a chance to ask coaches, but that was such a huge win in overtime. I know Coach Nancy felt like you guys probably didn't play your best game, but you still got to win. And then you had RBC next week. How much did that kind of turn your season, being able to win that great game at Rutgers against another very good program and just kind of continue on from that point?
Right, that definitely was a great win. And it was also kind of a wake-up call for us because that game being that tight, we knew that the next week Red Bank Catholic was a good team, so we needed to go in and fix a few problems we had and go play our best game against them.
I got one more for you before we let you go. The offensive player you went up against, who you considered your greatest challenge. The player on the other team, likely a skilled player who you said, I really have to be on my game tonight for us to be successful because this guy's good.
Well, I've played against a lot of great players on the offensive side of the ball. Especially in our last game against DePaul. But this year, I want to say Lucas for Rumson. He's a good running back.
Peter Lucas, right?
Peter Lucas, yep, yes sir. And of course at Red Bank Catholic, you want to watch out for Bear. I watched a lot of his film and their quarterback Lubisher. I had his number that night, and so it was a great feeling.
Well, we're going to make this very interesting segue because we're going to have you get up and we're going to have our offensive player of the year sit down. I thought what I would do is give him a football and see if you could tackle him. No? Not tonight?
Always, open to play.
Well, we've got a nice award for you, and hope you find a place for it. Congratulations on just a truly outstanding career, and it is our pleasure to honor you as the Shore Sports Network Defensive Player of the Year.
Well, thank you guys very much.
Johnny Buchanan, everyone.